So the next thing we're going to talk about is Pijn and Conjurer together. At last. Curse These Metal Hands is the name of the EP. Two bands that we have massively...
Are you calling it an EP?
Well, it's 4 tracks. It's an EP.
4 tracks, but it's over half an hour long.
Yeah, but that's an EP, isn't it?
3 of those 4 tracks are over 10 minutes.
Yeah, like one of them's 2 minutes long, so it's really
True.
only sort of 3 songs. Well, no, 2 minutes is a song.
I think they're referring to it as an album, but if you want to call it an EP, Steve, you go ahead and call it an EP. That's fine.
I suppose, yeah. It could be an album. Albums are half an hour, but then some EPs are half an hour, aren't they?
It's a
4
tricky,
tracks.
It's a tricky thing.
If they're saying it's an album, who am I to argue?
Yeah.
It's an album. Obviously, 2 bands that we have massively bigged up in the year that we've been a podcast.
Absolutely.
This formed, I think, as an idea for Art Tangent.
Yes, sir.
Which is, cool.
Yeah, I believe, I might have got this wrong, but I believe James Scarlett from Arctangent asked a few bands to collaborate together, and that's basically how this project started.
I actually spoke to Brady, lovely Brady, last year, just before they did the set, and I said, what's it sound like? And he told me it sounded like Queen with screaming. And
it's not entirely off.
It's not. It's kind of apt. It's sort of. I thought he was being an idiot.
No,
but it's not.
No, not
it's
totally
not
off.
That ridiculous thing to say.
I think I would more accurately say there's no denying it. We cannot get away. Or to be honest, the band have kind of been saying this as well, so I think it's fine to say that it sounds. There's a lot of Red Album Baroness on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say Red Album Baroness mixed with Thin Lizzy. Those kind of, those kind of dual guitar kind of...
Big dual guitar,
yeah.
70s rock.
Yeah. It definitely sounds like... if you look at all of the photos that they've done and stuff, they're all posing in these weird kind of power metal poses. It's... I think... I wouldn't go as far as to say that they're not taking this project seriously or anything like that, but it is obviously, compared to their day jobs, being taken less seriously. Sometimes that's a bad thing, and sometimes it's actually a very, very good thing, because you just get a bunch of mates getting together and having a laugh and producing something fantastic as a result. And I think this is very much the latter.
Yeah, it's great.
It's brilliant. And the fact...
It's really good. And, sorry, go on.
Well, the fact that you can kind of hear elements of both bands, maybe Pijn in kind of the composition of the songs and the length of them, but Conjurer in the, I suppose, riffs, and there's a bit of screaming and stuff. I think Brady, Dan and Joe all sing on this record at one point or another, but it isn't simply Pijn and Conjurer mixed together. There is more to it than that as well. There are elements on this record that neither of those bands would ever... I can't imagine Conjurer going into a Thin Lizzy-esque thing, and I can't really imagine Pijn doing it either.
No.
So not only have they mushed together what they do, but they are adding other elements as well. This is just a really fun record. I really love it.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. And I think you're right. I think this is one of the more successful records of its kind.
Definitely.
In balancing the personalities of both of the people who are, both of the artists who are getting involved. So
how they've managed to do it with Brady's ego, I don't know.
Yeah,
incredible.
Really heavy and technical parts, and then really involving, lengthy, progressive, and often beautiful parts. And when they coalesce, the last song, the way it all ends, that kind of massive stadium rock, at the end, that triumphant kind of
they'll be so proud
thing that comes up at the end. I was like, what a fucking superb way to end a record.
Yeah.
To actually go, ta-da! They actually do that. Fucking unbelievable. The nerve of them, really.
Yeah. But I suppose that's what I mean by kind of having a project where you feel the brave... I can't imagine either band would have the bravery to do that with their day jobs, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But because this is kind of and this is sort of like when side projects are at their best. It's like when the pressure is off enough to be able to
really flights of fancy.
Yeah.
And those, it's like when you have those conversations, you sit down and you go, oh, can you imagine how funny it would be if we did that? To actually trying to find a way to do that and not let everyone in on, I don't want to call it a joke. I don't think
and it not be shit.
Yeah, I think that's it, to kind of go, let's see if we can actually get away with doing that, and to do it is really cool. Yeah, I really, really like this. It's kind of heavy, it's catchy, it's melodic, it's very progressive, and the songs are long.
But do you know what? They are long. They don't feel long.
No, they don't, do they? Yeah, it does go jinx.
I've just jinxed you.
Oh well, where are we then? What are we going to do? I'm just going to sit here in silence, am I?
Yeah.
Can't imagine that happening. But yeah, it's very good.
It's brilliant, and I also think if you've listened to Pine and you've listened to Conjurer and you don't like either bands, A, shush. B, B, I don't think you have to like either the bands to like this.
No, you probably
necessarily
not. Might help, to be fair.
It almost certainly will help, but I can imagine fans. There will be fans of Pine and Conjurer who don't like Pine or Conjurer.
Yeah.
That sounded like a ridiculous sentence, but I said it and it's true.
No, you're right. I'm sure they don't have a universal crossover appeal, but maybe they'll find it with this and more. Maybe they'll be as big as like the Eagles off the back of this.
Do you know the other funny thing about it though? It's probably, I'm not in any way calling this commercial, but it's probably the most commercial thing both bands have done, isn't it?
Yeah. Definitely. So there you go. Queen with Screaming by Pine and Conjurer is out. Sorry, Curse These Metal Hands is out in a week's time from now. It is really very, very good.
It's really good.
Well done, chaps.